Hey, what is up, guys? So we got a bunch of more cards coming from Shining Victories that got leaked. Anyways, let's go ahead and check them out. And I think we got another crazy deck. And I think this is tier 1. I know I just made a video that said Raid Raptors are tier 0. Tier 0 and tier 1, two completely different things. Just because I feel like this deck is a little bit slow. But anyways, let's go ahead and just check them out, guys, because they're pretty crazy. Anyway, so the first card we're going to be taking a look at is the Raptor Pendulum, the Draco Overlord. So it's a level 4 Dark Dragon type Pendulum monster. It's the one on the right over here. So it's got a scale of 5. The Pendulum effect is the effect of face-up Pendulum monsters your opponent controls are negated. The monster effect is at the start of damage step, if this card battles with a Pendulum monster, destroy that monster and this card. Obviously, if it comes back, you know, it's totally okay. The next card we're going to be taking a look at is the Perform Azneyes Phoenix. So it's level 5 Wing Beast Pendulum monster with 2,000 attack and 1,000 defense, scale of 3. Its Pendulum effect is that if you have another card in your Pendulum zone, when an opponent monster declares a direct attack, you can destroy the card in your other Pendulum zone, and if you do, special summon this card. Pretty mediocre. But the monster effect is during either player's turn, you can tribute this card, then target one Perform monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. Yeah, it's like, probably not going to see too much play, but you know, I figured I'd mention some of them. Alright, so first, let's go and check out the new card. I feel like the Morphages are basically going to be the tier 1 deck. Like I said, I feel like Raid Raptors are just a little bit too fast for that deck to compete. But here's what this card looks like. And like, apparently it's going to be an ultimate rare. So this is a Morphactor Psycho, the Azneyes Draco Overlord. So it's level 8, a dragon ritual monster. It's got 2950 attack. And its first effect is well, you can ritual summon this card with a Morphage Persona. And then if this card is ritual summon, your opponent skips their next main phase 1. That is huge in the game. Next up, the effect of all face-up fusion, synchro, and XYZ monsters are negated. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Draco Ruler monster from your deck to your hand, except for the same copy of itself. Wow, talk about power creep in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, some things, it's like, you know, it reminds me of the Unicorn, but Unicorn didn't have that much attack. This card's just like, bam! I get this card out. And then when it dies, it still searches out like almost everything. Shadow's still banned. Oh man, the power creep is real in this game. Anyways, next up we have Fuyu Sakura. This one's actually really cool. It's a little chibi card. So it's a. At first I thought it was going with the Shurunes, the zombie synchro archetype. But anyways, the effect of it can only be used once per turn. So it's during either player's turn. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can discard this card. Reveal one card from your extra deck, then check your opponent's extra deck, and if there are cards, or is a card or cards with the same name, banish all cards with that name from the opponent's extra deck. So, if you play a deck that revolves around, like, you know, one specific card, and, like, let's say you bring out, like, Towers, or just, I know Towers is banned, but, like, the equivalent of Towers, the Raid Raptor card, that's an excellent example, and you know that they're going to bust out, like, Utopia the Lightning, you can instantly just go, I'm going to activate this effect, and do you happen to have, you know, Utopia Lightning? Oh, wow, we're going to banish all of them, and then at that point, they just lose. Like there's certain decks that only have one out to that Raid Raptor card. If you guys haven't seen the video, I'll link it down below in the description box. That Raid Raptor card, and how fast you can get it out is crazy fast. And like I said, if you can just, it's like, it's a really cool mechanic. I like this card. I feel like Effect Failure kind of outclasses the card, but this gets rid of all of them. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on this card, as well as all the other cards we'll be mentioning. Next up, we got a Morphage Persona. This is a field spell card for the Morphages, or a Morpheus, whatever they get called, the TCG. Anyway, so it's a field spell card. The first effect is they all gain 300 attack and defense, mediocre. Second effect is as long as the card remains face up in the field zone, each time a Morphage monster you control is tributed, you can draw a card. This effect can be applied up to twice per turn? Twice? Already looked like I mentioned before, guys. I remember I made that video talking about that this is going to be the next, like, tier 1 deck. Like I said, Raid Raptors just seem like they're a little bit better. And before everyone's like, did Raid Raptors pay you for this video? No, guys. I just think that this deck takes a little bit of time to get started. But anyways, let's read the third effect. So you can banish this card from your graveyard to tribute Pendulum monsters in your hand or field whose levels equal 8. Then ritual summon a Morphage Psycho, the Draco Overlord. So get out the card that is like a win condition, essentially, or it can be. Next up, we got Nephoros over here. So it's a pendulum scale of 3, and it's got 2250, and it's level 6. So the control of this card must tribute one monster they control during each of their standby phases is not optional. That's actually all in the Morphage's effects. And then if you control a Morphage monster, neither player can add cards from their deck to their hand except by drawing them. So it's like a Thunder King. Like, this deck has mechanics to shut down whatever you want to shut down. And then its monster effect is neither player can special summon monster from the extra deck except for Morphage monsters. And the other card lets you, you know, obviously the Psycho card is absolutely amazing. Alright, so next up we got the True Draco Awakening. Let's put this over here. So this is a spell card. There is a face-up Draco Overlord monster and a non-pendulum Draco Slayer monster in the field. Shuffle as many cards on the field into the deck as possible. Then you can special one Draco Slayer or Draco Overlord monster from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions. Pretty awesome, man. That is pretty awesome indeed. Next up, we got the Regretful cards. So this is an interesting card. It's a face-up, well, it's a continuous card. It says the hand size limit of each player becomes 3, but that just means during the end phase, I believe. So I don't know. And interesting if it activated immediately, then like you could play all your cards and activate it, and your opponent would, you know, obviously it would be really good if that's how it worked. But I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. Anyways, dice clops over here, so going for more RNGs, man. So once per turn, you can roll a 6-sided die, then apply the appropriate effect. So if you get a 1, you get to look at your opponent's hand, and you get to discard 1 card from there. If it's 2 to 5, you discard a card. 6, discard your entire hand. Pretty good effect if you roll a 1. Anything else is pretty bad, but they're going to add more support to the dice archetype. Anyways, next up we got another Raid Raptor card over here. So this is Pain Lanius. So you can only use this effect once per turn. Can't be used as material except for a Wing Beast, except for the summon of a Wing Beast type monster. If this card is in your hand, you can target a Raid Raptor monster you control that has a level. You take damage equal to whichever is the higher of the monster's attack or defense, and if you do special summon this card from your hand, if it's special summoned this way, this card's level becomes the same target as that target's level. A little interesting card. And then we got Angel Trumpeteer. It's a new normal monster. I'm like, oh, cool, man. Alright, so those are a few of the leaks. We got some more. Let's go ahead and check them out as part 2. So we got new Despots. I already showed you guys a pretty sweet Despot video. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll link it also down below in the description box. But this is Despot 009. So once per turn during your main phase, you can activate this effect. This card gains attack and attack equal to the combined attack of all Despot monsters you control except for itself until the end of your opponent's turn. You cannot attack with other monsters during the turn you activate this effect. So Prod was telling me that you can get this card up to 25,000 attack and you can one-shot things. That's kind of cool. I'll show you guys that replay once he sends it to me, because it seems like a pretty cool concept. That seems like the playstyle of Despot. Just get a bunch of damage on board. Anyway, so its second effect is if this card attacks or is attacked, your opponent can't activate anything until the end of damage step. The third effect is this card would be destroyed by battle by card effects. You can destroy one Despot card you control instead. That's actually pretty important, because a Proj was telling me that, like, literally, like, you lose to the stupidest things in Despots, because, like, you know, people play like Stormy Mirror Force. There's a lot of these other Mirror Force cards, and, you know, things like Honest and, you know, things ruin your one punch man, you know, kind of mechanics. So that's kind of cool that it makes it so, like, you can't destroy it, basically, and it's unaffected, or your opponent can't activate anything. But anyways, next up we have the InterMate, so the more perform pals confirmed over here. So we have the Crab over here, and its pendulum effect, well, it's got 500 attack, and its pendulum skill is 2, and it's level 5. But anyways, once per turn when a perform pal monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can target a perform pal card or odd ice card near your pendulum zone and special summon this card. Or special summon that card. Monster effect is once per turn you can target one pendulum monster you control, and it gains 300 attack for each perform pal monster you currently control until the end of this turn. Most of them just revolve around, like, adding, like, you know, attack. It's pretty mediocre, though. It's not, like, game-breakingly strong good. Then we got Fire Flux over here. So it's like a little Firefly. It's a pendulum skill of 5, level 4 with 1200 attack. And its pendulum effect is once per turn, when an opponent monster declares an attack, you contribute one perform pal monster, negate the attack, and then end the battle phase. I was thinking, like, maybe someone can try to do stall, but, like, even though you can keep on bringing, you know, your pendulums back, I don't think it's viable, so, like, I think that's out of the question. But the other effect is if a perform monster or an oddest monster you control attacks, your opponent can't activate anything until the end of the damage step. An interesting little effect, but, like, most of the stuff prevents you from getting cards out in the first place. Next up, we have the Avenged Lanius over here, a new Raid Raptor card. It's got 1700 attack, level 4. If you take damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you can't special summon monsters from the extract for the rest of the turn, except for Raid Raptor monsters. That's pretty cool. That just says damage. That's not battle damage. That can work with Trick Clown. You know, that's pretty cool. I like that. Obviously, you can't special summon monsters from the extract except for Raid Raptor, so there's a downside, but so you can't really like splash this in anything. I think that's what they really wanted it to do. I think that's pretty cool though. Next up, we have the Blackwing Death, the Morning Wind over here. So new Blackwing support confirmed. Whoops, almost moved to the wrong thing over there. All right, anyway, so here it is. It's level 4,000 attack. You can only use the first effect of it once per turn. So when this card is normal or special, you can target one Blackwing monster you control to activate one of the following effects. You get to increase that target's level by 1 or decrease it during the end phase. If this card is in your graveyard and it was sent through this turn, you take 1,000. I don't really think it's that great. I don't know how many people are going to be excited to try out that, but at least like we got more support for Blackwings confirmed, right? And then we got a bunch of pictures of all the other Amorphages. So we are, yeah, the Morphage. So we got Gaster over here. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put this on the right side so you guys can see the picture while we talk about the card. Let me know if you guys like this better than me clicking on the card and going back. I think this just looks much cleaner. But anyway, so Gaster over here. So its pendulum effect is during each of your standby phases. Okay, we're not going to read this effect now because it's going to say that on every single one. You have to tribute one of the monsters during each of your standby phases. But the first effect is neither player can activate monster effects except for Amorphage monster effects. And if this card was Pendulum Summon or Flip Face Up, neither player can special summon monster from the extra deck except for a Morphage monster. This effect is also pretty much going to be on all of them, so it's pretty much just this effect that we're going to be taking a look at. So, again, tributing. So this is Lux over here. I believe it's the second one. It's got the Pendulum Scale 5 with the 1350, which is, it's this one right here. I think you guys can see my mouse. So this will make it so players can't activate spell effects. So pretty good effect right there. As you guys know, the Tribute Beast wins games. And then the next one over here, neither player can use traps. So you're shutting down monster effects, spells, and traps already. Like, that's amazing, and you guys already saw the other support. And the other one makes it so you can't use stuff from the extra deck. So, like, complete shutdown mechanic from this deck. And then next up we have 40 Mismo. It's a, I think it's a Melodus. Yeah, it's a Melodus card. So once per turn you get a target one Melodus monster you control gains 600 attack until your next standby phase. And the second effect is you can send this face-up card to the graveyard to fusion some one Melodus monster you control. One Melodus fusion monster from your extra deck by using monsters you control. It's mediocre. I don't think that deck's looking too good, but they're going to get more support because it's one of those character decks. Next up we have the Amorphage Lysis. So it's a continuous trap, and this is where I feel like this deck goes from like to like it gets much, much better. So you can only use the second effect of it once per turn. So the first effect is that all monsters except for Amorphage monsters lose 100 attack and defense for each Amorphage card on the field. So it's minimum going to be 100 because I believe it counts itself. If a card in your Pendulum Zone is destroyed, you can place one Amorphage Pendulum monster from your deck into your Pendulum Zone. And I'm just like, wow! Because all of them have this downside, right? The Pendulum effect during each of your standby phases destroy this card unless you tribute a monster. And then it's like, oh, don't worry, man. If one of them's destroyed, you get to place another one. The downside, or like the Quackymere reveal, you know, that's what, like, you know, I mean, Quackymere is not so good. It's completely not here. And then we have this card, which I want to talk a little bit about real quick. I think this card is pretty cool. We'll talk more about the Amorphage in a second. But I guess the source is from Yu-Gi-Oh! Kodu. But anyways, so it's a normal trap card that says add one card from your hand to your opponent's hand, then you gain 2,000 life points. I want to know how we can abuse this card. I'm thinking you give your opponent a card, then you exchange them. That could be useful. There's a lot of random stuff that can be used. I guess you can Mind Crush and you can make your opponent get rid of that card. I don't know. Like you could obviously that's not a good use of it, but I'm saying like this card has a lot of potential to maybe open up some game-breaking random thing. I'm wondering, I want to say it's called Dark Designator. I don't know if, I want to know, is there a card where if you activate it and it's like if your opponent has it in their hand, they have to use it? Because if you give them like a certain card, I don't know, I think like, I'm trying to think of like a specific card, but like, I want to know how we can abuse this. But anyways, guys, the Amorphages are looking pretty dang cool indeed. Let me know what you guys are most excited to actually try out. Like I said, the Amorphages are looking to be like I said, it's going to be the best deck. Like, with the exception of Raid Raptors, because that deck is just outclassing it in speed. But the fact that this deck can play, if it knows what you're playing, it could be like, yo, I'm going to negate all traps. If you're playing, you know, the new the Phantom Knights, they just search out, if they can search out this card, that is. You know, we'll have to wait and see what other support they get. But you can just be like, oh, if you're playing something that is a pendulum deck, I just negate all spells. I just rush this card. So, like I said, they're looking pretty crazy, guys. But if you guys want to read everything for yourself, feel free. I'll link it down below in the description box. It's the organization page. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Been your boy, Will Smith, signing out.